This conference will now be recorded.
Good day from Canada to all the delegates at the Organizational Excellence Seminar hosted by Solomon Zakeo at EMS-GLOBAL. I've been practicing in the organizational excellence area for quite some time and working with organizations across sectors to improve performance. Today, I'm concentrating on populating the world with professionals that can work in organizational excellence, transfer knowledge to others, and work with organizations to improve performance. I'm proud to have Solomon as one of our licensed professionals at Organizational Excellence Specialists. Improving performance can take many forms. We can be working with a business to get it off to a good start, to address an issue, to improve a key management area, to put a good management system in place, to measure performance, and to get good results across a balanced system of measurement. When working in the organizational excellence area, two very important topics are assessment and benchmarking. These are both powerful undertakings for leaders in business, and this short presentation will explain why. Before we get started, I'd like to provide just a wee bit of background. I'm speaking to you from Vancouver Island on the west coast of Canada. You can see it is quite a distance from where you're located in Tanzania. And here's a picture of me to go along with the voice. Solomon has referred to my positions with global boards and committees in the excellence arena, and it is important to note that these positions allow me to remain close to what is taking place in organizational excellence and to contribute to the field. From a global perspective, Organizational Excellence Specialists is a small business, but very influential, as the publication has filled a gap in the literature, and the accompanying toolkit is making the excellence journey for organizations more simple, straightforward, time efficient, and cost effective. This is important, particularly for micro, small, and medium-sized organizations, as they have been left out of the conversation to date, given the resources required to pursue and attain excellence. At Organizational Excellence Specialists, we are trying to change that by automating repetitive tasks and using a methodology that engages and involves everyone in the organization and invites them to participate in the excellence journey. When I think about assessment and benchmarking, one of my favorite quotes is by Thomas Huxley. He said, "The rung of the ladder was never meant to rest upon, but only to hold a man's foot long enough to enable him to put the other somewhat higher." To me, this quote describes the excellence journey and what business must do to move from where they are now to where they want to be, one step at a time. As consultants and trainers, when we work with organizations to improve their performance, we use a strategic approach. We start by asking, what is the organization's vision, mission, goals, and objectives? What is their current state and desired future state? And then we help them move from where they are now to where they want to be by using discussion, training, assessment, improvement planning, and benchmarking. Assessment provides a snapshot of the business with regards to current state. What is going well? What needs to improve? What is the culture of excellence? To what extent have they deployed best management practices? What are they measuring? Do they have a balanced system of measurement? The assessment generates an action-oriented improvement plan. And this improvement plan builds on the organization's strengths and helps them to address opportunities for improvement. And as the organization is implementing the improvement plan, we establish measures that will provide feedback on the way the business is performing. Some measures include the quality of the product or service, customer satisfaction, employee satisfaction, financial performance like profitability. And we work with employees to examine and improve work processes, taking their ideas and suggestions about how to improve a given work process. And did you know that 95% of improvement takes place on the basis of those ideas and suggestions? It is employees that know how to improve work processes and come up with all the great ideas and suggestions toward that end. And this internal benchmarking that we do to monitor our performance or improvements over time is called internal benchmarking. We also want to test the changes that we make to processes, the ideas and suggestions that employees have. And the reason we test is that every time you make a change to a process, it doesn't necessarily result in improvement. In fact, 25% of the time a change will result in a positive improvement, but 50% of the time the change will be neutral, and 25% of the time it will be negative. So we have to be very careful with that. Looking outside of the organization is important too, and this is where we get a chance to learn from other organizations, particularly high-performing ones. And when we learn from other organizations, this is called external benchmarking. For example, we might wish to learn from an organization that is very good at attracting and retaining employees. What is this organization doing that results in being an employer of choice? Then we can think about what we have learned and what we can apply to our own business. Then we can make changes and test whether the changes result in improvement and implement those changes that do have a positive impact. So when we do external benchmarking, we generally follow a 4-phase approach that includes planning or identifying the business process that you want to improve, analysis, which is collecting data or information, action, which is implementing some specific improvement actions, and review, which is evaluating the benefits of the process or monitoring for improvements before you decide what to put in place. Generally, we also seek out benchmarking partners by interviewing best-in-class organizations or conducting research on a wonderful website called bpir.com, and also by working with the members of the Global Benchmarking Network that represent other countries and can assist us in finding benchmarking examples. I'd like to tell you a little bit too about a benchmarking project that we've been working on at Organizational Excellence Specialists. It's called the First Global Assessment on the Current State of Organizational Excellence. This has been a very large project we've been doing over the last 3 years, and one in which my company has taken on voluntarily. We've been working with our research team and asking organizations around the world to participate by self-assessing their organization against the principles and the best management practices that are included in the Organizational Excellence Framework. Over 1,000 organizations have participated to date, and we have been aggregating the results by organization size, industry sector, and geographical region. These results are telling us about the extent to which organizations have a culture that is committed to excellence, or the extent to which they have deployed best management practices. Did you know that there are quite a few organizations from Tanzania that have participated in this study? This is due to the work done by Salaam. He's been hard at work inviting respondents. And with more participation, we'll soon have a good snapshot of the current state in the country and be able to work with organizations to build on strengths and address opportunities for improvement. These results will be beneficial to the working population at large. For example, government that's delivering programs and services for the benefit of industry, or businesses providing products and services to their customers, to associations that are deciding what programs and services add value for their members, to educational institutions that are developing programs for students that will be relevant to future employers. As of today, here are the real-time results for organizations that have completed the full assessment. And this means that they've rated how they're doing on the principles that describe the culture of excellence and all the best management practices that are contained within the key management areas. So on the principles, we can see the highest ratings are for leadership involvement, and focus on the customer. And the lowest ratings are for prevention-based process management and database decision-making. So this tells us where organizations are doing well and where they might need to do a little bit more work. And here are the results for the key management areas. You can see the highest ratings are for customers and employees, and the lowest ratings are for planning, suppliers and partners, and resource management. The practice of benchmarking is included in the work processes area, and it's interesting to note that it's one of the lowest rated practices. Other low-rated practices are those related to future-oriented activities, such as making contingency plans for unforeseen events, and practices related to working with others, other stakeholders, such as suppliers and partners. And an example here is working with suppliers and partners to improve work processes or to introduce new products and services. The benefits of this study are really going to be significant. It's going to be making leaders aware of excellence models, because we know that only 20% of the working population is even aware of excellence models. And by becoming more aware and encouraging these leaders to start or continue their excellence journey by using the tried and true practices of high-performing organizations, it's really going to make a difference. Also, by providing the dashboard results to show the current state of the culture of excellence and the deployment of best management practices, we're going to be encouraging organizations to engage in internal and external benchmarking. And if you think about it, if we can get more higher performing organizations in a region, we can realize a stronger local economy in that region, better trade, and all of this is going to trickle into resident quality of life. On a grander scale, we might have more countries fully participating in the global economy, and this will lead to a better world for future generations. These may seem like challenging goals, but I believe if we all work together, we can make these goals a reality. It will be like climbing a ladder, one step at a time, working together and improving with each step until we reach our desired destination. I'd like to close today by saying how much I appreciate being invited to speak at the Organizational Excellence session today. Thank you once again to Salaam and Zakeo for inviting me to present. One day, I'd really love to visit Tanzania and present in person. But until then, let me leave you with an invitation to work with Solomon and realize this formula for success for your business. Remember, this formula for success is equal to implement the best management practices of the Organizational Excellence Framework, develop a culture committed to excellence, and achieve exceptional results across a balanced system of measurement.